Hi, I'm Vivian, the knitter.
And I'm Alyson the crocheter, and you're listening to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 48 of Keep Calm and Carry On, a knitting and crocheting podcast brought to you by me, Vivian, and my daughter, Alyson. I'm coming at you from New Hampshire.
And I'm recording from Scotland, where I live. How are you?
I'm good. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. We're on summer vacation mode, so it's been a month since we released an episode.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, though.
Oh, I feel like it's been a while.
It's gorgeous here right now. It's in the high 70s, I think, but there's absolutely no humidity in the air.
Nice.
The sky is blue. There's just puffy white clouds out there. I was out there all morning mowing the lawn and gardening and weeding and all that fun stuff. So
Mm.
I am liking this weather. Today, anyway.
It's a bit windy here, but it's similar. Not too many clouds, pretty sunny. But I just got back from a holiday, so I was in Florida and New York, and it was too hot. It was like, uh, it was in the 80s, and I would have said before that my ideal temperature range is about like 76 to 78 degrees. And I think my ideal temperature has significantly decreased because there was a day in New York where it was 78 and I was just like, "Oh my God, it's too hot."
It was probably humid too.
Yeah, it was a bit humid. And then coming back here, I think it was like 60, 65, something like that. And I was
Uh-huh.
walking into work or just walking outside and obviously wearing more clothes than what I was when I was in Florida and in New York, but I was getting pretty warm. I'm like, wow, how am I this hot? It's not even hot outside.
You've acclimated to the Scottish weather.
Yeah. I kind of joked that I was never gonna complain about the weather again in Scotland, but I know that's a lie. But that's kind of how I was feeling. It's just, you're hot and it's sticky and you had to put sunscreen on, and we were using this because we were in Key West and we did some snorkeling. So I did my due diligence or whatever. I bought mineral sunscreen, which is more reef safe than like your regular, I don't know what they're called, but other sunscreens that use like some sort of chemical reaction or something to block the UVA, B, whatever. Anyways, so I got reef safe sunscreen, and that stuff is so sticky, and you cannot get it off for the life of you.
Oh,
And
that's the stuff that has like zinc oxide in
yeah,
it,
exactly. Oh, it was the
which is basically diaper
worst.
rash cream.
Oh, I hated it.
Uh,
Honestly, I had to scrub my whole body 3 times in the shower to get it all out. And I got a sunburn on the way back from snorkeling because I didn't reapply after snorkeling because I just hated it so much.
all the problems you have.
So I'm glad to be back in the relative cool of Edinburgh.
Well, that's good.
That's
Cause
our rambling.
I miss talking to you. Cause when you're on vacation, I don't talk to you.
Well, yeah, I think I don't talk to you is one of the things. I'm too busy. Um, anyway, thanks everyone who's listening and joining in, whether it be for the first time or for the 48th time. Uh, we promise we will get to the crafting content as well at some point. But we have a couple of special thank yous to a couple people on Ravelry who said hello on our welcome thread in our Ravelry group. And that is Elise, who is Franken Baylor Nut. Yeah, she's a she's a chemistry professor living in Minnesota, and you've written very punny with a little
Yeah.
blushing smiley
Sorry,
face.
she said that she was hooked on our
Oh
podcast.
yeah,
Yep. Lila, who is Topaz68 from Unravelry. She's got two dogs and two cats, and she lives in Pennsylvania. And she says she loves hearing about the antics that Allison and Vivian do, whatever, antics.
get up
I
to.
was like, oh, I guess we do antics.
Eh, we talk about
Yeah,
stuff
we're
we get up
fairly
to.
entertaining. Okie dokie.
Yes,
So you picked the BuzzFeed quiz this time around,
yes, it
and
is.
it's
We know what kind of coffee you are based on your travel preferences. I think I'm gonna have to start caving in and doing those build a McDonald's meal and we'll tell you what your boyfriend's name is. Like, we're gonna have to slowly dive into that rabbit hole of BuzzFeed quizzes. Honestly, that's what it is. Buy some stuff from
Yeah.
Urban Outfitter and we'll tell you what vacation destination you should go to, you know.
Well, I guess we've already picked the good ones.
Yeah.
We're left with the dregs.
Anyway, so what coffee are you?
I got Turkish coffee. It says
Mm.
you're intelligent, optimistic, and passionate. I
Uh-huh.
don't know how they came to that conclusion. I've never had Turkish coffee. I'd like to try it. It's
I
supposed
think,
to be
is
really
it really
strong and sweet,
strong?
right?
Yeah. So I got the coffee, my usual order is a flat white, and it says you're
Oh,
curious,
really?
charming, and competent. I like that. Wait,
Okay.
what was the three things for Turkish coffee?
Sorry, I forgot. It's intelligent, optimistic, and passionate.
I think that's true. For a second, because like curious, charming, and confident also with C, so I didn't know if they were all like going to be alliterations, but it's not.
uh, well, let's see what you picked.
So the first question was, do you prefer being outside or inside? And I probably should have based this off. Well, because this is supposed to be based on your travel preferences, but I kind of answered on my general life preference, which is to stay inside. But like if I'm traveling, probably being outside.
Yeah, because we were talking about traveling. And when I am traveling, I like to be outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the same way. If I'm home, I just want to be home. Unless I'm in the garden, then I'm outside. But mostly inside.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I'm traveling, I might be inside too, like museums and, castles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you prefer staying in the city or in the countryside?
I picked countryside.
When was the last time you had a vacation in the countryside? Smack was notch?
Every time we go to Vermont,
Yeah, other than that.
I don't know.
I guess Sky. I love skies kind of.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
considered countryside, isn't
Yeah.
it? That was
Yeah.
a nice vacation.
I went for city. When I think about it, I feel like I tend to like to visit cities but then again, I do like my local around Scotland travel is generally not to cities.
Mm-hmm. What about continent?
I said Europe.
I picked Australia. I've never been to Australia.
I never been to Australia either. I think that'd probably be my second pick. But because I went for Europe just because I feel like even though I've lived in the UK for a while and have lived before, I haven't done that like as much travel to Europe as like I always thought I might.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's just because, work and all that stuff gets in the way.
yeah, I although I probably should pick something else because as much as I say I've never been to Australia, I've also never been to Antarctica or Asia or Africa or South America. So
Well, I've never been to Africa. I have been to Asia
what,
and North America.
Antarctica?
Antarctica? No, I haven't visited. Oh, I didn't see the one that says I can't pick.
Oh yeah.
What about the last question is which city you'd love to visit?
I picked a city not in Europe. I picked Tokyo.
Oh, you did.
hmm
So, what about Tokyo is attractive?
I think if I don't know. It's was it the only city in Asia?
I think so, yeah.
So I feel like when I think about the places I want to visit in Asia, Tokyo is pretty top of the list.
Uh-huh.
So, don't know.
I picked Venice. I have never been to Italy.
No.
Yeah.
Well, one
Well,
day
there's not
maybe.
that many European countries I've been to begin with. It's
Mm.
just the UK and France. It's it.
It was a bit of an odd mix of cities. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, flat white and Turkish coffee.
Yep. That's me and you.
Okay, crafty content. Do you have any whips? You can't say no.
All the whips I had before. I I think I've lost my knitting mojo. I just can't stick to one project.
hmm
And I made a little bit of progress on my Coraline sock and absolutely no progress on my Zagita shawl. I just do have a couple of small FOs, but one of the reasons why I don't have that much progress is that I've been working on other projects, like tiling my bathroom, my hands and my arms were so sore from that, and I
Uh-huh.
couldn't knit for a whole week. They were I was in so much pain. I have this neck massager, and I was like putting it all over my arms
Uh-huh.
because because I couldn't knit. I was very sad. So I'm kind of mojo-less
Mm.
this month.
Okay, so you don't really have any whips to report back on.
Nothing to really talk about.
That's okay, because I have a new whip, so I can talk about something. I started. Can you please say it for me? It's in French.
Que bâton?
That sounds
I
right.
don't know.
I think it means beating heart, does it? Maybe?
Something, yeah.
Uh, by Rachel. Well, I assume if she's French, is it not? It's probably not Rachel Henry, but because it
But
ends in
that's
an
how it's
I.
spelled.
Yeah. Um, so it is a sweater, and it's in Tunisian crochet. It says it's Tunisian crochet seamless raglan sweater. So yeah, I've just pretty much I'm just on the yoke at the moment. It's a paid for pattern. It's in French and in English. It was 650 euros. But yeah, I don't know. I was looking for projects that I could make using the yarn that I took from you the last time I visited, which was the Madeline
Oh yeah,
Tush
the back.
uh,
Uh-huh.
Dandelion, which is a discontinued yarn. It's a single ply fingering yarn, 90% merino, 10% linen. It's in a blue, like a denim blue.
Yep, ish. Yep.
Um, I
Like
don't,
a stonewash denim color,
yeah,
or not even like a indigo.
yeah. I just had a moment of deja vu. I haven't talked about this yet, have I?
You have not.
Okay.
But
Just
did you start using that yarn on something else and pull it out?
no. I specifically wound up the yarn, caked up the yarn for this project. But yeah, so I don't know. There's like these weird white fibers that sometimes come out. Is that the linen?
That's probably the linen.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I was looking for something to use with this. I've got, I took the four skeins from you, but they aren't 100-gram skeins. So annoying.
What are they?
uh, Less? 80, maybe?
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, it is. So I kind of look I had four. I'm like, oh, I can make something out of this. And then when I actually looked at it, the yardage and stuff, I was like, oh no, it's not as much as I thought it was. Anyway, so this sweater is so it's a long sleeve sweater, but I guess you can make the sleeves any length you want because
Oh,
because it's
yeah,
top
because
down.
pictures there's like
Yeah,
two.
and then it's
There's like
like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a
it's like is it double-breasted?
I don't even know. I'm not sure I completely understand it, but the top it's like it's almost like a wrap.
Yeah.
Like oh, I just don't know how to
You know, people
explain it.
can't see you.
I know.
It's like it looks from the picture. It looks like double-breasted, where but the part that goes that overlaps is like a free flapping piece. Is that
Yeah.
right?
So what do you mean by double-breasted
You know, like a double-breasted
coat?
like your pea coats
Okay,
sometimes are
but
double-breasted.
I don't think I think it's a pullover. That is crocheted together. So it's not like there's
Uh,
buttons.
oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting.
So I really don't know how to explain it. So I think you could it's attached there, but then there's not attached in other places, so you could put your hand up through. I don't know. So I'll include pictures so you can see it and
Okay.
links. So if you're listening to the audio version, you can go see it for yourself. But
Oh, there's only 12 projects. Did it just come out?
eh,
Oh no, it came out last August.
yeah, about a year ago. But I think a lot of the projects are test knitters,
Oh.
crocheters.
Mm-hmm.
um, most of the finished ones, I think the designer like pursued pretty hard people to test make the garment. Um, so there are actually quite a few finished ones. I mean, not like a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It's not obviously like a massively popular design or anything, but I feel like it's still like a good amount of like people's notes and stuff like that to see and to see it in different yarns. And like some people have done it in a short sleeve, and some people have done different colors in different places and stuff. But I don't know if I'll have to make mine a shorter sleeve, whether that's 3/4 or short sleeve, depending on how much
Mm-hmm.
yarn I have. But so it's all done
Does the
in.
instructions tell you, like, give you short sleeve instructions?
I don't think so, but I think that should be pretty easy to figure out. You just don't make them as long. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, but the pattern itself seems pretty comprehensive. There's like charts. There's like a chart for where to do the raglan and the increases and decreases and stuff, and some photo tutorials for some of the more complicated Tunisian stitches for certain things. So yeah, so I've not gotten that far. I'm still working on just the yoke, but yeah, it seems I kind of messed up. I didn't really mess up. I must have skipped something, so my row count wasn't quite right, and this was like I don't know, 10 rows in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in Florida, and I kept picking up thinking, oh, I'll just work on this a little bit, and then I'd remember that I had to rip something back, and I couldn't bear to do it while I was on holiday and stuff. So
Oh.
I feel like
So did you?
so I didn't. I feel like
Oh.
I lugged this all the way to Florida and to New York with me, and I hardly worked on it at all. And it wasn't until I came home that I just undid the one row and then, yeah, got it going a bit further now.
I see.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I originally swatched with a recommended 6 millimeter hook, but it was too big. And then, but yes, I went down to a 5.5, and now it's a bit smaller than the gauge, but I'm gonna make a size small, which is slightly bigger than what I need.
Uh-huh.
So that should be fine, right?
I
Maybe,
don't
fingers
know.
crossed. um, yeah, I don't know. Like the nope, never mind. That's all I got.
Uh, so that's the only FO you have? I mean, not FO. Whip?
Yeah, I've got my other whips that I've been working on to mention.
So whatever happened to, oh, we're only going to do one episode a month and we'll have more time for crafting.
I was on
Nah.
vacation.
Do you, looks like you have an FO though.
um,
Or is that leftover notes from last time?
leftover,
Do you or do you not have an FO?
kind of. I'll do it after you though.
Okay. I have two FOs. One is, it was practically done last time anyway. Per socks, I made, the pair of Knit Picks Fleechy plus some dark blue heel. It's boy colors.
Boy
I
colors.
wanted, your dad
It's
asked
blue and
me,
gray.
yeah, it's blue and gray and brown. He asked me if I could make him another pair of socks. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And I asked him, but like I've only made him two pairs of socks, and they're both very boring. It was one pair was navy blue with gray heels, and the other one was gray with navy blue heels. Right.
Did you use the same yarn?
So
Or did you
yeah,
just like swap? Yeah, okay.
yeah, and they're well. The navy blue is it's hard to see as I'm getting older. It's just I'm going blind,
Uh-huh.
and it's also very boring. But anyway, I think I did the heel. Damn it! I think I did the cuffs differently again.
You did. Why?
Because I didn't have the first sock with me when I started the second sock, and I'm like, oh, I think I did a. What is this?
What kind of cuffs do you normally do?
Apparently, I can't stick to the same cup. The one is a 2x2, another one is a 3x1. I don't know what the hell is wrong with
Are you gonna
me.
fix it or are you just gonna leave it?
No, I'm gonna leave it. Anyway, anyway, they're just weird. Anyway, I asked him if I could do some, colorful socks. He's like, just not too colorful, and I had this in my stash.
Uh-huh.
Like, is this masculine enough? And he's like, yeah, I'll wear those. Like, okay.
What does it matter?
So
No one sees them. He just wears them around the house, right?
he wears them in his shoes too, like his boots. His, not his. Anyway, I don't know. So that's the first FO. The second FO is something I started last week because I just couldn't, I don't know, for whatever reason, none of my whips was jumping out at me or making me inspired to pick them up to work on. I started a new project and it's called As the Leaves Begin to Fall by Eliza Jarvie, and it's a paid for pattern. And I used a yarn that I bought from Classic Elite when they were going out of business, Alpaca Socks and Fresco. And
No.
it's a I your luteola with a leaf motif.
Yeah.
It
Huh.
kind of made me want to it made me want to do something color work with a leaf design. So
Hmm.
this was actually in my favorites for a long time.
Nice. So that's just like a slouchy hat.
Yeah, it's a little slouchy. It'll be for one of the little girls, one of
Mm-hmm.
your little cousins for
Lucky
Christmas.
girls. So it's just what? Gray hat and then the leaves. The
It's
leaves? The
actually a
leaves?
light purple. It's
All
hard
right.
to tell.
Uh-huh.
And the leaf bit is the alpaca socks is a variegated blues and purples and greens. And I cast on with that color too, so it's just a little bit of color on the edge. And then I think I did the ribbing a little differently from the pattern. But other than that, it was a good pattern.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of problems with the chart where she had the decreases. It
Uh-huh.
was a little off, but you know, I was able to figure it out, no problem. So those are my two FOs, the
Yes. And
only
of
two
course, one of
FOs.
them is color work. One of them.
Yeah, I guess that's just I gravitate towards the color works.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's just more interesting to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a FO, but it's also related to, and I'm gonna borrow a term that Sandra from the Cherry Heart podcast uses, a PIP,
Uh huh.
a pattern in
Tip.
progress, like a
A what?
design,
Oh, a
a
pattern
pattern.
in pro.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
the FO is my secret project, which I feel like you were turning into a bigger deal than what it was the last whatever episode.
So
Uh,
are you gonna release the pattern?
so it's still a pip, so it's still in progress, but the actual
Uh huh.
my for the one cowl is done. So it's just a short cowl. Can you call if it's like an infinity scarf and it wraps around like twice? Is that a cowl as well?
I don't. I wouldn't call it a cowl. I would call it an infinity scarf.
Okay. Well, so I made this using the Walcott yarn that I got at Edinburgh. And the yarn is called Opus, and it's very, 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 very soft. I think I mentioned before that I squeezed it before at a previous Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I really wanted to buy it, but it's quite expensive, and I didn't really have anything in mind for it, so I kind of skipped it. But it's a sport weight, and it is 70% wool, 30% alpaca. So it's
Oh,
all like
nice.
solid colors. So it had gotten the sort of like goldenrod and the mustard, and I wanted to try and do a herringbone pattern because why? Because I used to work for a blanket company and we make a lot of herringbone blankets, and I was just doodling in my notebook at a meeting one day trying to think about how I would crochet a herringbone, and my doodles have absolutely nothing to do with how I actually did it in the end, but because well, yeah, so I it's basically a modified like a chevron stitch pattern.
How is a herringbone different from a chevron?
So a chevron would have each row is a single color, and then in a herringbone, it would alternate on each sort of straight line. So the bit going up might be navy, and then going down, it's mustard, up is navy, down is mustard, up is navy,
Hmm.
down is mustard, and then the row above it, your up will be
It's the
the other
opposite.
color. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just asking that for illustrative purposes.
Yes.
um,
I'm learning. I'm learning.
and obviously, when you're making a blanket, in terms of the blanket that my work used for the place I used to work at makes, it's all woven. So I don't
Hmm.
know how that works exactly, and I presume that the weaving process makes it so that's why like it has to look like that
Hmm.
for some particular reason because of how it's woven. Um, obviously for crocheting, it'd be way easier just to do the chevron in the same colors instead of switching the color. Um,
Uh-huh.
so it's a slightly asymmetrical herringbone. I don't know if you can tell, but
Yeah, I can see
yeah, so one of the sides is slightly shorter than the other, but that's just because of the nature of the stitch and trying to
how
make
they
it
stack.
and how they stack, yeah. The biggest challenge I had was I wanted to have straight edges, so
Mm.
I had to figure out how to do the rib. Um, I tried many times, and my first attempt, I had a whole finished cowl and I ripped it out because I tried to do it with slip stitches, and it looks a lot neater, but it's really stretchy. So
Uh-huh.
I kind of tested and just loose by itself, and then stretched all the way as far as I could go, and it could double in size
Oh,
because it was
so you
so
don't want.
skinny, and it
Uh-huh.
it it just didn't work out right. So there was like just too much material, and so I've done it a different way. It doesn't look quite as tidy, but it just worked out better. So I've written the pattern for the cowl, but because it doesn't really use that much yarn, and it feels like kind of a waste to have bought such nice yarn and not use it all, I'm gonna do it so that it's an infinity scarf. I think I have enough yarn to do that, to make another one
Oh, okay.
in the opposite color. So this the one that I've finished has the goldenrod as the rib. So I'll do an
So will
infinity.
you do it the the chevron, will you do it along the long edge or will you do it across the like will the zigzags go perpendicular to the edges or will it be parallel to
What? I don't understand.
it? So would it be just like that except a lot wider or
Oh,
would you make
yeah, it would just be a lot
okay.
lighter. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah, it'll be
trying
like
to
this
say?
but longer, essentially.
Okay.
Um,
Not
yeah.
would you be able to make it the other way?
Now you're making my head hurt. Uh, no, because well, you could, but the way I've done it, I think you could only really do it in the round.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you'd be doing, oh yeah, you wouldn't. You'd be doing it long ways and then attaching it at the end, like sewing it
Yeah. Maybe I still I don't know why this is taking so long to get through my brain, but yeah. Um, so if anyone is interested in making this pattern and would like to test crochet it, I guess,
Are you gonna have any test
crocheters.
leaders?
That's what I'm
Test
asking for right now.
crocheters?
If anyone
Yeah.
is interested,
Oh, okay.
I'm still working on the just making sure. I mean, I'm confident that this is very easily size upable, but it's just more how much yarn will it use and stuff. So I'm gonna make the big version.
hmm
Um, and yeah, I feel like that's a thing I'm not allowed to ask. Like that sounds like a thing that, like, I'm not a crochet designer because I'm not a crochet
Sure.
designer. But but yeah, if anyone is interested, just message me on Ravelry or on Instagram. Might be a little while until I actually have the pattern ready, like ready. But you know, if you express interest now, it'll give me some encouragement to actually do it. Yeah, so that's
Very
my.
nice. I am
I
duly
mean, you've
impressed.
basically designed lots of stuff as well, and as much as I've tried to get you to just make a pattern, you don't.
Right. Yeah, I guess
You
I'm
could
lazy that
just
way.
make the pattern and I'll like design the PDF for you.
You will?
Yes?
I'd have to write something up.
Yeah, because I couldn't help you with that because I'm not a knitter.
Uh, okay.
Oh
Is
wait, I
that
forgot to say what I decided to call it as well. I think
what are you gonna call it?
tentatively it's my tweel cowl, which is a really hard thing to say and enunciate. Tweel cowl. Tweel.
And
Um,
what is the origin of Tweel?
I told you, but now I don't remember.
You
Oh,
told
I
me,
think
but you didn't tell our listeners.
I know. Okay, no. I think I remember. I think it's because the word tweed uh potentially used to be tweel back in
Back in
the
the day.
olden day.
The
Back in the day,
olden
I don't know.
days.
When when, there was no standardized spelling and people misheard things and then things got written down. And so who knows if it was tweet or tweel or whatever. And I could be getting this wrong, but I feel like this is what I read. And a lot of herringbone that's made in fabric form is like a tweed herringbone. Um, so yeah, so it's my tweel cowl.
Nice.
Tweel, 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 tweel. But yeah, so that's my FO slash pip.
What do we have next?
I have a few of our favorite things. Well, I
So do
have
I. What is
one
yours?
of my favorite things. So it's an Instagram account which is called Google Sheep View, and I think it's a website as well, but it's just pictures taken off of Google Street View in which there are sheep
Oh my god,
in the view.
you're kidding.
Yeah. There's
Uh,
not that many photos on the actual Instagram. And as I was thinking about it, I was sort of thinking you must be able to just travel all the roads in Scotland and be like sheep 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 because that's me when we drive in Scotland. I'm like sheep 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 sheep. But the actual project
or
has
if it's me, I go sheep.
the actual Google Sheep View has a very a more wider variety of locations.
Oh,
So you
that's so
got
funny.
like your different places in the UK. There's one from Peru, Belgium, the Netherlands,
That's too
something I can't
funny. So
pronounce.
somebody just went through all of these Google Street Views to find sheep.
Um, it is an ongoing project. So it was started because 2015 was the year of the sheep,
Yes.
and they liked to look at sheep when they were riding the trains in the Netherlands. And I say they, it is Ding Ren and Mike Carabinos. Actually, Ding Ren has got their name in the actual Chinese characters, so you could actually probably pronounce it correctly, whereas I can't. It's on googlesheepview.com on their about page. But she is an adjunct assistant professor of photography, and he is an archival theorist and musician. So really random project, but it's pretty great.
It's very cool. Well, I have a favorite thing this time around, and it doesn't have anything to do with sheep or fiber or anything, but I do use it to put my. I use it for my patterns. I just got this, and you got me onto this. It's my Haranax stapler.
I saw that in the notes, and I was just thinking, did she mistype Yarniacs or something?
Nope, nope, nope,
Stapler,
nope.
stapler.
So I've been stapling my when I print out my patterns and I staple them together. I've been using
So, how many pages can it do?
and
Not that many, yeah?
10.
Okay. I think mine's like
That's
an
a
8
decent amount.
max. Uh-huh.
Uh, I got this off of Amazon. It was only like $8 or something
Mm.
like that.
So,
All the way from Japan.
if anyone's wondering what a stapler is, you put it in the in the slot. At least this is what mine does. And then it perforates the paper in the corner in a sort of finger shape. So, it's not a hole, if that makes sense. It in a finger shape? In a finger shape.
I don't know. It's like
Uh,
a
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it perforates like a sort of finger shape, and then on the
and
end,
it folds it
it
over.
folds it over and also perforates a sort of belt loop, and then it goes into the belt loop. This doesn't make any sense. Oh, this is just. I feel like this is the episode of me trying to explain things that doesn't make sense. Uh,
So I got this last week, and your sister and your cousin proceeded to punch holes all over the place. I had like this stack of scrap paper. I was like, okay, you're never gonna be able to open it now. I was like, all around the edges. It's like, how old are you guys? But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
I just have to go back to my Google Sheet View because I clicked into a page that says outtakes, and it's of screenshots where they obviously started to either think it was sheep and it wasn't sheep, or things that aren't actually sheep. So
Uh
there's a
huh.
goat on the
I
street.
can't see that. Where are you seeing that?
It's on the website googlesheepview.com. There's like a
Oh,
page that's just called outtakes. There's some hail bays that aren't sheep. There's some cows that aren't sheep. There are some sheep. There's a sheep-shaped building, a giant sheep
Really?
sculpture.
A sheep-shaped building?
It's like a sheep-shaped bar. No, don't even know what it is. It's in New Zealand. Yeah, some sheep sculptures in people's front yards, signs with sheep on them, sheep painted on the side of the building. That's pretty funny. uh, but yeah, sorry. Anyway.
Oh, there's a sheep sculpture.
Uh,
Sheep building. There's a pig one over there too. Oh my god, this is hysterical. Oh, that's too funny. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I don't know, sorry.
I was gonna say something, but I because I am old.
Did you have anything for Nerdtastic?
Oh, we saw Men in Black
Oh, you did? Was it
International.
was it fun?
It was fun. I liked it. There was a bit in the middle where it's like, okay, move it along, move it along. It's getting a little slow,
Uh-huh.
but it was very entertaining, and you see like the origins of one particular, not any agent that we've seen. It's the Tessa Thompson, like how she becomes a man in black
Mm.
or a woman in
Yeah.
black.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so what's this one called? It's Men in Black International. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it takes place in Europe. They're
Right.
in London and Paris,
And is it just
and
Emma Thompson that's like
she's the only one that has her that is from the other movies.
yeah. I rewatched the last one, the time traveling back in time. Is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
and Sam started to watch it with me, but he lost interest pretty quickly because
Really?
yeah, I don't think he's ever really seen them, or I don't know. I feel like this movie, those movies weren't a part of my childhood in the same way as like X-Men was or like Harry Potter, but it's still like I get really excited about X-Men, not X-Men, sorry, Men in Black. And when we were watching something, maybe Aladdin in the theaters, and as soon as the first few notes of
Wait, you saw Aladdin?
yeah. No, that must
Oh,
have
was
been something else. I don't know. We were watching some movie and the trailer for Men in Black came on. Maybe it was Endgame. And as soon as the first few notes of the Men in Black theme song go on, I'm like, "Ah, it's Men in Black." And he's just like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What's that?" Oh, he just doesn't understand.
That's right. Oh, actually, I have a couple more things for Nerdtastic. The first thing is, I finally started watching the second season of Killing Eve, and
No,
did you
I
watch the
have, I
second
have,
season? Okay,
it, it, it,
forget it.
it, 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 I think it's out in the UK now, but it came out in the US first, and it wasn't out in the UK for a while.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch the finale yet, though.
Okay.
Okay, skip that. I'm finally watching the second season of Stranger Things because the third season is coming out, and Madeline wants to rewatch it, and she wanted me to watch it with her.
Of what?
Stranger
Oh,
Things?
Stranger Things. What did you think?
I've seen 3 episodes, or maybe 4 episodes so far. And so far, so good. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't watch it right away. I think so far it's just as good as the first season.
It is as good or isn't?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think that I thought the first season, I feel like I didn't get it. I just remember there being so much hype over it, and I watched it all the way through, and I was like, yeah, like it was a show, but I just didn't love it the way some people like were just freaking out about it. I just didn't get it. The second season, I think generally probably isn't as good as the first season, but I liked it better because I think I was more invested in the characters from the first season. So by the second season, I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, I'm on board. Whereas the first season,
Mm.
I went through the whole thing thinking, what? Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I think we might have talked about this on the podcast. It's very like sci-fi channel y. Like these are like the shows that we used to watch in the 90s and early 2000s, a lot of those sci-fi channel shows, and it's just it's just something. It's just a show like that has become mainstream, and I think people that never had any interest in watching sci-fi is all of a sudden like introduced to it or
Do
something. Do
you
you know what
think
I'm
though?
saying?
But I feel like, you know, this this whole sci-fi fantasy genres, when sci-fi rebranded from sci-fi to the SYFY thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that whole rebranding because people weren't, they wanted to try to uh broaden their
Appeal.
audience, yeah,
Yeah.
appeal to a wider
Yeah.
audience. But I feel like they did that just as sci-fi and fantasy start, like, you got the remix of Star Trek and like all the new Star Wars and, Game of Thrones and, now even, was it Once Upon a Time? Is that the fairy tale show?
Yeah.
It's like
That was like the kid version of
yeah,
sci-fi.
it's like, there's sci-fi and fantasy on every other channel on top of sci-fi. The sci-fi channel,
Yeah.
I
We don't even watch the sci-fi channel anymore.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my take on it. I am enjoying it, and Madeline, this is her second or third or fourth time
Oh,
watching the
wow.
second season. I don't know. I mean, I have seen bits and pieces of the second season, so when I saw something, I was like, wait a minute, didn't we already see that in the first season? It's like, no, that's when you walked in on me watching it. The second season, like, oh, okay.
Uh, yeah.
So, yeah. So I've got my tour guide with me, Madeline.
Your tour guide.
She can tell me, what because I saw the first season that first year it came out, and I haven't seen it since.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Well, okay. I'll probably be watching the third season when it comes out as well then.
Which comes out on July 4th.
All right. Well, at some
And
point.
yeah, and that's why she's like, we gotta watch it, we gotta watch it. And I'm like, well, you don't have to watch the third season as soon as it drops. Like, but I want to.
I mean, she could watch it without
Okay.
you.
Yeah, she could, but she wants to rewatch the second season. So,
uh,
Seth, so that is all the nerdtastic talking
uh,
that I have.
okay.
That's a lot of nerdtastic.
Yeah. Um, well, unless you've got some shop talk.
I do not have anything for shop talk because I've been tiling and painting and
Yeah.
doing all the householdy stuff.
No worries. Well, you do have bags in the shop though, yeah?
I do have bags in the shop, and my Etsy shop is called Pearl and Plum. For those of you that don't know, I make project bags for
Awesome project
everybody.
bags.
Yeah, I
Zipperless
think they're
project
pretty awesome.
bags.
So yeah, there's nothing. We still have a coupon code, Splash Pad Party 19 if you want free domestic shipping on orders $30 or more.
Are you sure that's actually the right code?
That is the right code. Splash Pad Party 19. Last time I neglected to include the word party.
And it's 19, not 2019.
Yes.
Just checking. I mean, I don't know what it is, but
You're gonna make me second guess myself, aren't you?
okay. Well, in that case, we can say goodbye and I will do my spiel. The show notes for this episode and every episode are on our website, which is kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. Our Instagram account is kcacypodcast. My mom's personal Instagram is upstate_viv, and mine is Alyson here. You can subscribe and like and rate and comment and all the good stuff on iTunes and on YouTube or wherever else you get your podcasts. And then also you can join our Ravelry group. Just search for Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast in the groups tab. Thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry on.